All right, so the other thing to follow up, this is the part two of that last video. Why I've given up on life, love, happiness, and everything else, and you should too. The other two ways I mentioned earlier that I hinted at are scientists invent time travel. Yeah, supposedly scientists are saying they found backwards quantum mechanical time travel and quantum teleportation. If they can extend that to human levels, which they won't in our lifetime, it's possible we could go back in time and make sure that the events that led to the current present never happen. That won't happen. We know for a fact that won't happen, at least not in our lifetime. And we know that it won't happen because it didn't happen in our timeline. Therefore, metallogically, it doesn't make any sense that it would have ever happened in the future. Because if it did, because we wouldn't be living in our timeline if it was possible. So that even if they can find backwards time or imaginary time, it doesn't matter because it can't be used for anything. All right, so that's it. A couple of other ways that I've thought of could be, well, again, just giving up and waiting for society to collapse on its own, because if everyone gives up, and most people probably already have, give up on politics, stop voting, stop participating in society at all, and stop talking to people, isolate yourself, don't do anything, don't see a therapist, don't do anything. I mean, you can't do anything about medications that you take. If you can afford them, you're on disability or whatever, stay on it. Wait for the society around you to fucking collapse, and that's the most likely way forward. But also assume that you yourself don't matter to the system or anyone else. In fact, even if there was no system, you would still be insignificant, as I am, as everyone else is. You're insignificant. No matter what system we live in, you are insignificant. Right now, you're a product in a fucking money equation. That's what it is. You're a product in a fucking equation. And they don't give a fuck. And it doesn't matter, because if you were in democratic socialism, you would also be a product in an equation. It just wouldn't necessarily be a money equation. There will never be a perfectly fair and equitable society. There will be a time where you're not around anymore and no one will fucking care. And even if there are people who show up to your funeral, which there probably won't, they will forget about you, because they will have, and you will become completely meaningless in the grand scheme of things. No one, most likely, you want to know what the most likely thing is? You'll die alone. You will never be loved. You will never have happiness. Nothing will ever bring you joy, because you're deprived of the things that would actually allow that to happen in any meaningful amount. No amount of meds will save you from your depression. No amount of therapy will ever save you, because it isn't a psychological thing, but rather a societal thing. That's the honest to God truth. And if you don't like it, well, I would love to tell you a lie, but it wouldn't necessarily be beneficial. There is no hope for the future. Not because you're depressed, but because you're denied. That's what it is. You're not, even if you're not black, you are probably blacklisted. Doesn't matter. You're just cut out of society no matter which way. And again, there is absolutely no hope. And it's not that I'm depressed or you're depressed or whatever. There's no hope. You can't pour from an empty cup, and you can't make butter with a toothpick and no milk. And you certainly can't become wealthy, happy, or successful in any meaningful way in a broken system. You just can't. It doesn't matter who you vote for. It doesn't matter anything. Maybe there will be a blue wave, and it will be a specific kind of blue wave where the vast majority of people will be moderate, I like to call them anarcho, open access people with an increased infrastructure control, although everyone on the left likes to call them democratic socialists, although there is no state control in that, or there's limited state control over personal lives and property, so it would not meet the qualifications for socialism or communism, so it doesn't make sense calling it either one of those things, because it isn't. They are increasing your access, open access, to basic resources and the means for happiness. They are also increasing your They are also increasing the affordability of care, increasing infrastructure control and affordability, and they are decreasing the rules that govern individual choices for the most part. That makes them anarcho. They are decreasing top-down systems that have no purpose to exist. That means they're the exact opposite of a communist or state control system. So that really doesn't make any sense to call them socialists. I think what they're saying is they're saying it to be edgy against the right-wing authoritarian nut jobs. Again, I trust neither side, because just the calling it democratic socialism as a badge of honor and a form of rebellion doesn't make any sense and is a lie. The Democrats lie a lot less, but there is still misinformation on the left. There are still left-wing policies that are pretty much misinformation. There's still things that are on the left that are fundamentally scientifically not true, or at least for the most part are scientifically not true. Doesn't really matter. Democracy is doomed. You're doomed. I'm doomed. I just don't care anymore. The best thing you can do in this case is just not care. I sound like an asshole, but that's because I'm right and you don't want to accept it. Now, as far as love, as much as that hurts, I don't care if you're pain. I care about telling you the truth, whether you want to hear it or not. No woman wants you if you're a man. And if you're a woman, no man wants you. No man wants a woman who isn't going to put out and have a bunch of children with them, because men want to have children. No, if you're not willing to have children, then the purpose of having a relationship is illogical. Outside of gay relationships, where the purpose might be a little different, but even then, they still want to at least adopt children. If you're not wanting to get married and have kids, then stop having relationships. If you aren't, that means you aren't ready for love, and you never will be. Because if you don't understand that love is a freedom that can only exist with a combination of responsibility and the ability to give, you're never going to find love. It's just the hard truth. You will never find love and also you're unworthy. You are in fact unworthy. If you aren't willing to put things beyond yourself, you are in fact unworthy. And it goes for men and women. Men, if you aren't willing to understand her side, you are unworthy of her. You should just stop trying because you're unworthy. And women, if you want to hold tight to feminist values to the point where you're almost unapproachable and a man can go to jail for even asking and go mad just for even trying, he should stop trying because you're being unreasonable. Like, if a man can't even cross you in the hallway without being accused of sexual impropriety and go directly to jail, then he's gonna stop trying. He's gonna eventually just give up on relationships altogether and stop even thinking about having a relationship, because it isn't even safe. You have to be safe to be approachable. On a man's side, he has to be able to be more understanding. On a woman's side, you have to prove that you're not gonna stab him in the throat, steal his money, ruin his life and his mental health, and you're not going to accuse him of things he didn't do. You also have to understand that the rape statistics are changing. Men are now becoming more likely to be raped by a woman than vice versa, and the actual statistic only goes up for being white and powerful and rich, not based on gender. So there's actually not as much of a gender, if there is at all, relationship to like being male does not necessarily, it's not really known. Because again, the statistics are only based off of who goes to jail for it. And since men are more likely to go to jail for any crime they commit than women, and because it's like the statistic used to be black men were more likely to commit violent crime of any kind, including this. But now we know it's because they were just more likely to be recorded or punished for it, and the rest was just not even going to be recorded. Is because that's why that's why men are more likely to be seen as the aggressors in every situation. It's because men are more likely to go to jail, whereas women are more likely to get the insanity plea even when it's inappropriate. They are more likely to just be slap on the wrist. That means they're not even recording the crimes that are violent that women do. So this includes sexual violence. What is the most likely thing that happens is if you are any kind of non-white person, or you are related enough, at least by the statistical margins, for example, 8% black, 8% Afro-Cherokee, 8% any Indian tribe or whatever the tribe considers, whether it's 6.25 for Cherokee, Eastern Band, or whatever. If you're any kind of marginalized community, you're blacklisted, plain and simple. And in some parts of the country, it's literally any amount of it. Even one drop of black blood makes you a black man, not a white man, no matter what you look like. So it doesn't matter. If you start out rich, but you got an Afro-Cherokee Jewish mother like I do, you're blacklisted. If you're Muslim, you're blacklisted. If you're black or have 1/8 black ancestry or in a state of a just one drop law, you're blacklisted. And nobody loves you. That's the plain and simple place. If you're neurodivergent, if you have been marked by society as undesirable in any way, shape, or form, you're blacklisted. Unless you are lucky and you win the lottery and you're smart enough to understand to immediately use that lottery to marry into the 1%, you're fucked. Give up. It doesn't make any sense to even keep trying. You gotta give people a way forward for them to keep trying. I mean, and if you ask for a way out, if you ask your family, let's say, and I tried asking my family, you have connections to wealthy or are wealthy people. Why don't you marry me off to a wealthy person? Why don't you pay for something like Caliber Match or something to marry me off to a wealthy person? And not only did they not do that, they threatened to institutionalize me in jail or a mental hospital because I asked for basic needs to be met. That means my family doesn't love me, and that's normal. Your family doesn't love you either. How can you even get forward when even your own family will refuse to love and understand you? The only way forward is to stop caring. I don't care what happens. I don't care what happens to me. I don't care what happens to society. I don't care about anything. And it's for my own sanity. I'm doing it because I'm sane. When I have things for policymakers left and right, give me a fucking reason to believe in this country, and I'll believe in it. Give me a chance. Give me school. Give me marriage to a wealthy person. If you're a wealthy woman out there and you're wealthy, give me a fucking chance. I'll believe in the society I'll believe it when I see it. When I see an opening, I'll take it. I'll believe it. Marry me off to a wealthy person, or give me a chance to make it on my own and actually make an actual reason rather than gaslighting me into submission. And I'll believe that there is hope for the future. But right now, there is in fact no hope for the future. And anyone listening to this who is not a billionaire, give the fuck up. You're not going to make it. You're never going to make it. Just give the fuck up.